Welcome to Chapter 16, Drawings and Detailing. This is where it all comes together. This is where we make something that we can hand to a machine shop and have them manufacture it. We are going to be making the front cover plate. So load that up and we will make drawing from part. We're going to use ANSI C. Rather than pull it in the way we have been in all the other exercises, we're going to try something different. Let's go to View Layout, pick Standard Views, and say OK. That automatically brings up our three main views. Now we'll select Projected View, select the front view, and just go up at an angle and get our ISO. Move that over in position. Now let's see what they want us to do now. We are going to convert this to the tangent lines. So we go over to tangent edge and we say tangent edges with font, and that gives us phantom lines where the tangent lines were. And then we're going to do a cross section or partial section view. So we'll go to sketch, we'll draw a line, we'll base it off of this center, just go up and then click point, come over to View Layout and select Section View. That gives us a section view. It looks like it's in the going the right direction. You can swap it back and forth by sliding it back and forth, or you can flip it here, but we'll just put it right there. And then they'd like a detail view up here, so we'll go to Detail View. Try not to get the center point because it becomes hard to move if you need to move it later. So just somewhere in here, grab up, and you don't need to dimension this circle. And we have a detail. Okay. And they want us to alter this cross-hatching. It's not dense enough. This is automatically pulled in from the material that it's made from because it's been assigned. So we'll just uncheck that. And they want to increase the density of that 3. Okay. Now they want to pull in dimensions from the model. I've never liked this, but we will do it for this view. You go to Annotations, Model Items, and they want you to select the dimensions, mark for dimension, whole wizard locations, and the whole callouts. We'll say OK. We've got drawing view 1 selected and the entire model. You can do it for all the views. I'm only going to do it for this one. And there we have a mess of dimensions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up and I'll come back afterwards and we'll continue on. As I completed dimensioning my view, I noticed that my dimensions are 2-place and they are 3-place in the book. The way to fix that is to come up to Options, go to Document Properties, Dimensions, and set your primary precision to 3 places. Say OK, and now everything's at 3 places. I'm going to continue on dimensioning the rest of the views, and then I'll come back when I find something interesting. As I'm detailing this, I've noticed that I've done something differently than they did. As you see, my detail B has no scale, and that's because my sheet scale is 2:1, and I reduced all my views to be 1:1. So I'm going to correct that right now. To do that, I'd come up to my sheet, right click, show my properties, change my sheet scale to 1:1. Then I come down to my views and I'll go down and see I'm using a custom scale. I'm going to use the sheet scale, which is the same. And now my detail needs to be changed to 2:1. Custom scale, 2:1. And now I'm at the same place where they are. I also want to remind you that when you're dimensioning these things, you have mouse gestures. If you right click and go up, that's your smart dimension. That's a whole dimension. That's your, for assemblies, that's your circle text, your items, and that's for notes. I also want to show you that I noticed that they're telling you to hit the parentheses over here for adding your reference parentheses. You don't need to go all the way over there. There's a quicker gesture. You select the text and go up to this box and you can add the parentheses right there. Okay? As I'm finishing up this backside view, I see a couple things that don't dimension the way you'd expect, or they do, and they're dimensioned differently in the book than the way you would expect. First is this radius of 0.188. Personally, I'd leave it as a radius, but they have it as a diameter. To get it back to a diameter, you click on the dimension, come over to liters, and just select diameter. And that would convert it over to the 3.75 diameter. The second thing is on the in the manual they show you this 0.25. That point is not, like, we're coming from this vertical line over to, it's called a virtual sharp, and the way you get one of those to show up is to click on the line, hold down the control key and click on the circle, and then in sketch mode click the point, and that creates what's called a virtual sharp. Now this is kind of large. It's not the way I would want to do it. If you go into the document properties and go down to views, you'll see the virtual sharp. I'd make it the plus. It's smaller, doesn't show up as much, and it looks better. So then you can just select your vertical line and your virtual sharp and get that 0.25. Okay, on to the next one. When you're asked to enter the center line markings and you select the center line and you don't see the symbol that you want, if you click here and just go to modifying symbols and you'll see it there. Say OK. And just move it into position. If when you're entering your geometric tolerancing, it doesn't come out quite the way it is in the book, it's going the wrong direction, if you just pull it away and then grab that little arrow and drag it the other way and drag it back, you can flip the sides. Just a little tip. Overall, this is a pretty easy exercise. It's a little time consuming to get all the dimensions in and the geometric tolerancing, but everything they had there works. So if you have any problems, please let me know. Send me a PDF. I don't need to see the actual drawing file. And do this one and the next one, the elbow. I'm not going to do the elbow. It's very simple, but you're going to want to do it. Trust me. Thank you.